Tell us about the National Mental Health Hotline that you're part of. Those conversations and the heaviness of what you're dealing with. How do you prepare yourself every day to get up and deal with some of those circumstances?
In the past 10 years, I think I've shown up and bear witness to I don't know how many atrocities anymore. And I don't mean to minimize any one of them, but East Coast to West Coast, North to South, when you're involved in a shooting and something that happens in your own place of worship, as you come out of that and really start to reveal your own personal forgiveness journey, there's a lot of people who are going through that same thing. And what that's looked like is going from location to location, yes, but also seeing people and dynamics and experiences that they're having in life, and those experiences show up with people being angry, people being bitter, people being sad, and the plethora of emotions that suffering kind of causes on a human being and their psyche. And so the work that we do now is really a continuance of that, but it's the sense of God puts you in these places not just to bear witness, but to listen. People talk about their families, about the things that they're going through in their life, and just how they're trying to come back to a reclamation of themselves. And it's wonderful to be able to do that work, but like you said, it's difficult work because it takes something out of you, it takes something away. So I think just the way that I come back to approaching work is that I intentionally sort of find my energy in family and friends and community and life. I practice all the time as far as just meditating on gratitude. A lot of times within extremism work or what we call de-radicalization work, you see people and clients who are very, very bitter. They're bitter at the government. They're bitter at what's happening in life. They're bitter at all of these other macro things outside of oneself that they're bitter at, and they'll quite frankly tell you why they're so upset at all these things. But sometimes it's just to come back and say, hey, like, are you grateful for anything? Has life, and coming from a place like India, where we have a billions plus people who, I mean, so many of them live in poverty, you feel fortunate to be in America. You really do, even with all of the suffering that might happen. You just feel really fortunate for all of the gifts that you've been given in life. And then as soon as you start to kind of meditate, even just on a morsel of gratitude, it plants a seed, and the seed is deep down, and the seed nurtures it and flourishes and grows, and hopefully grows to the point that hate is no longer an option in somebody's heart and spirit. And I think that's the work that we try to do.